Jumpstart Foundations had some silly cards that really tickle my fancy. Like Plagon, Lord of the Beach. He's the guy that says, you know all those 0-4 Krakens and 0-5 Turtles you got when you first started playing that have just been sitting in your box for 10 years? Yeah, I'm gonna make those good. Plagon says when he enters, you'll draw a card for each creature you control with toughness greater than its power. And these guys are so cheap, so you'll just have a bajillion of them just all the time. Then you can pay a single hybrid Azorius mana to have a target creature you control assign combat damage equal to its toughness rather than its power this turn. None of these things have defender, so you can just swing away with small creatures or block with them super easily. Oh, and the best Magic the Gathering card, Sigiled Starfish, works so well in this deck. Not only is it a 0-3, it's a fellow Starfish, making this the greatest deck of all time. But what's even cooler, just kidding,
nothing is as cool as Plagon.
Qala, a Johnny's Pridemate, is really quite something that should absolutely be a rare. Qala is the Toa Nuva of the regular Johnny's Pridemate, making things absurdly large when it attacks. Whenever Qala attacks, other attacking creatures you control get +X+O until end of a turn, where X is the number of counters on Qala. And if you have the misfortune of playing Standard in 2019, so many life gain decks. What a slog. Anyway, whenever you gain life, Qala gets a +1/+1 counter, and it's so incredibly easy to gain life in this game, plus the built-in ability also makes this so good. Again, this should definitely be a rare. And speaking of cats, Scythecat Cub brings back my nostalgia for Battle for Zendikar with this cute little arm blades. All you need to know is trample and landfall, and boom, you've already got yourself a great card. But this little cat puts a +1/+1 counter on a creature you control upon landfall. However, if it's the second time this triggers, you'll double the number of counters on that creature instead. That only triggers on the second time, but the counters do get put on the first, third, fourth, etc. times, I do believe. It's just the second time the special. So this is fantastic. For 2 mana, you've got to add this to your next Bristly Bill deck. Now, what's one thing a Cactus and a Theron Soldier have in common? That's right, heroism. Cleon, Merry Champion, knows it best. Double Strike and Heroic. Whenever you cast a spell that targets Cleon, exile the top card of your library, and then you can play that card till your next turn. This could be such a cool combat spells deck, or just a card that fits in a feather deck really well. But basically, whenever you brute strength this thing, it'll let you impulse draw, which might not seem very impressive at first, but then you have to realize this is all red's got. And this effect does last for this whole turn and the next turn. So if you exile a land card, it's great for your land now or later, whatever. To go in this deck is our next card, which is Frontline Heroism. Look at that. An enchantment that reads, when it enters, create a 1/1 soldier with haste. Busted. But then whenever you cast a spell that targets only a single creature you control, like the Merry Champion, create a 1/1 red soldier token with haste, and then copy that spell, and then that copy targets the token. So you cast Hearts on Fire, another fantastic card from this set, and you'll copy it to the new token. And it has haste, so you can just swing away. What's interesting about this kind of deck, though, is that you'll probably cast the combat tricks up front before combat, so it's easy to see coming, because you want that 1/1 to swing. So it does have haste, but it can't attack while you're already attacking, you know? But hey, it's a really neat concept. Somebody make a Gruul deck with this. Okay, now whose favorite plane was Hogwarts? Not mine, but nevertheless, we've got Harry, Hermione, and SPF 70 over here who've got themselves some crabs. I mean a single crab. Single crab. This spell costs 1 less to cast for each spell your opponents have cast this turn, so that's already a great sign. Then you'll scry 2, then draw 2 at instant speed. What's not to love? It's potentially the cheapest way to get this exact same effect, and can really be used like pretty greedily against those commander players who are greedy. You know who's the most greedy though? Players who like to copy their stuff, and Sandstorm Crasher is no exception to these players. Trample, and you exert it as a tax. When you do, you create a tapped and attacking token that's a copy of target creature you control, and then you sacrifice it at the beginning of the next end step. Come on, copy any creature you control, and the copy is tapped and attacking, and Crusher has trample? Okay, you've got to be kidding me. And what makes this slightly better than Delina Wild Mage is that the tokens sacrifice at the end of turn, whereas Delina makes them exile at the end of combat. So these tokens can be used during combat and after combat, and be used for sacrifice synergies and sacrifice outlets, which is really cool. You know, for no other reason, just because. And just because I love you guys, if you visit the Arcane Fortress affiliate link below, you'll support this channel and get yourself some unparalleled gear. The Radiant 100 Plus Deck Vault by Arcane Fortress is built for serious players who want both protection and elegance. Nanofiber exterior holds 100 plus double-sleeved cards with ease, securely clicks into place, perfect for dice and counters, and it has beautiful exterior engravings and just a gorgeous illustrated interior for the extra wow factor. The King's Guarantee keeps you protected as well. Built to last, love it or return it, no questions asked. This is the deck box that I trust, whether at tournaments or on display. It stands out and keeps my cards safe. Clicking the link supports the channel and helps you upgrade your game. Hey, now make sure you join me next week for your weekly dose of magic, and remember, the Manashift library is always open.